Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 236 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Yesterday we talked about pain and the impact it has on our emotional health and well-being. So today we're going to talk about the flip side of that, because I love flipping things over from negative to positive, the pleasure side of our emotional health and well-being. So we're going to do many of the same things that we do with respect to understanding ourselves and being self-aware with respect to pain, but we're going to actually do it with the things that we enjoy. But pleasure, I mean, anything that gets you in the upper part of the emotional guidance system. Gratitude, curiosity, joy, love, connection, delight, anything that is considered a positive emotion and makes you feel lighter or happier, what would be what I consider pleasure. So what's the role of pleasure and daily pleasure in our life experiences? When we have an experience that's connected to a strong emotional event, it can be a strong positive or a strong negative emotional event. Those things get linked up in our subconscious, and we build upon them over and over and over again with different experiences, different feelings, and they become a bigger and more important part of our life. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want pain to be a big, important part of my life. I want the things that I love and care about and joy, and happiness and opportunity and enthusiasm and curiosity and exploration and all the things that feel good to me and lighter. I want those to take up the majority of my time and energy and experiences in life. So how do we go about doing that? How do we trigger positive emotionally in us and have them cascade and continue to be building on the positive instead of the negative? Well, there's, of course, this mind-body connection that reinforces the connection between our emotions and our physical manifestation and well-being. And we get to choose what we're going to focus on. What we focus on, what we pay attention to, is what we'll experience more often and feel more often. I say every single day we need to be scheduling and making sure we're building in things that light us up and make us feel good, things that are fun and enjoyable for us. And if we're not, and I spent a couple of decades with the vast majority of my experiences being work, stress, anxiety, push, hustle. And that, worked for a while until it didn't, till I had a sudden cardiac arrest. So then I knew I had to make massive lifestyle changes in order to still be here talking to you today. And so what are some of the ways that we can increase the pleasure that we have in our life? And again, if we're not waking up and saying, oh, I'm so excited for a new day, our thinking or our experiences, things from our past are still impacting us. We need to let them go. We talked about some letting go strategies so we can focus on and be grateful for what is working in our lives. Because no matter how bad my life has ever been in certain periods of time, there's always been more good going on in my life than there has been bad. Even having a sudden cardiac arrest, it turns out that's one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I gave myself permission to be who I really am and to follow my heart and my passions and my purpose, not just keep hustling and striving for other people's measures of success and goals and objectives. So choose pleasure intentionally. It can act as a transformational process for us in practice. There's, again, the same things that we do to eliminate pain and negative aspects and emotions in our life, or minimize them. We're going to do just the opposite in order to increase our experiences of pleasure and things that light us up and make us happy. I'll share a couple people's stories with you quickly, and then we'll talk about how we integrate pleasure into our life strategically to consciously create more of what we want in a positive way, and to have us create the life that we want. Priya's culinary adventures. And anytime we do something creative and are building and adding to the universe in a positive way, that is one of my definitions of pleasure, right? And one of the things I do like to do is cook. So I like her story. Priya is a healthcare worker facing chronic stress, and she discovered that she loves to cook as well. She's been experimenting with new recipes and sharing meals with friends because it provides both a sensory satisfaction and a social connection. So not only is she cooking, but she's sharing what she creates with other people. And so she has the social and the positive reinforcement and feedback of, oh my God, that was the best thing I've ever tasted. And she's dramatically improved her overall mood. She noted that prioritizing her culinary joy enabled her to cultivate gratitude and presence in her daily routine. And she came to appreciate the things that were stressing her out. I'm only going to share one story, otherwise I go too long. So how do we strategically introduce more pleasure into our lives? Well, we intentionally plan and become more mindfully aware is how I go about doing it. So some of the practical strategies that we could use would include maintaining a pleasure journal. Yes, I love journaling and writing things down. It allows us to track our responses to different activities. So if we're in an experimental phase where we're trying out new hobbies and activities and things that might bring us joy, if we write down and keep a journal about it, just like a pleasure journal is just a mood journal, right? If we track how it impacts us, we'll find what activities are the best for us and we'll allocate more time to them. Allocate dedicated blocks of time to leisure without guilt. Every single day, you need to have a block of time. You have to figure out how long that block of time is for you. For me, it's usually a half an hour in the morning to go for a walk in nature. And that is, pretty sacred time for me. It's my time. And it allows me to have some quiet time and think and just be myself out in nature, to look around and see how beautiful things are, appreciate and be grateful for what an abundant universe we live in, etc. Engage in community or communal activities that bring you joy, make you happy, or you're curious or fun about. Guess what? You're probably going to try some things that you try and you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. I went rock climbing with my son, and he'd been wanting me to, and I went one time and I will never do it again. Fell off a rock. It's not my thing. It was beautiful out in nature, but to me, I'm not a heights person. It was scary as heck, and I did not love it. And so I'm not going to do it anymore. But I enjoyed spending time with my son. I enjoyed being out in nature. I had a great time laughing at myself because of my lack of coordination. But I'm not going to do it again. So you'll try different activities and things. And I didn't even need to journal about that one to know I'm not going to do it anymore. Practice mindful attention. So when you are doing activities, you're present for the positive moments. So you can experience and really soak in all the positive emotions and absorb them in the experience so that you can call upon them when stuff isn't going so well, right? So just make it intentional to cultivate positive, pleasurable experiences in your life. Pleasure also can be preventative medicine. I don't know if you know it or not, but it reduces our pleasure, and doing things that we enjoy and are happy about and excited about reduces the levels of stress hormones in our bodies. It improves our immune function, our immune system. Getting better rest and sleep allows us and our bodies to heal more quickly. And it actually leads to more longevity. It helps us live longer. There's been scientific studies on all these things. So today, what are we going to do? We are going to do and block out some time to do one thing that we love and enjoy to do, that gives us pleasure, makes us happy, joyful, ecstatic, curious, adventurous, whatever feels good for you. One thing. Share in the comments below what you did today. Not that what you're going to do. I'm not going to share what I'm going to do because I don't know what it's going to be yet. But what you actually did today to experience pleasure. I'm going to play with my granddaughters, that's for sure. And I'm going to probably read them books, probably go for a walk in nature. But I don't know exactly yet, so I won't post until I'm actually done with it. I encourage you to do the same. All right, any questions? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow for another emotional health and well-being topic as we work through or play through the rest of this month on emotional health and well-being. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.